Good morning, class. My name is Jacob Walters. Today I'm going to be talking about the legacy of Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson is one of our most celebrated founders for several reasons. Primarily because he wrote the Declaration of Independence, but a close second to that is probably the fact that he was our third president. Despite the magnitude of these two achievements, Jefferson's most impactful accomplishment may have been in his Bill for the Freedom of Religion. In 1777, Jefferson drafted what we know as simply the Bill for the Freedom of Religion. It was designed to limit the ability of government to establish an official state religion and or to infringe on the rights of individuals to worship as they so chose. The Bill for the Freedom of Religion contains some verbiage that will be familiar to most Americans, particularly anyone who has ever participated in a discussion on the role of religion in government or the separation of church and state. This bill stated that no man could be compelled to support or attend any establishment of worship against his will, could not be restrained or burdened physically or financially on behalf of his religion or any other religion, and that in the eyes of the law his religion should not affect his opportunity in society. Jefferson's Bill for the Freedom of Religion ultimately resulted in what we now know as the First Amendment. Congress, which reads, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof." The exact meaning, and more importantly the execution of this amendment in the administration of government has been hotly debated in recent times. We learned from this week's readings by Daniel Dreisbach that in 1946 the Supreme Court interpreted the writings of Jefferson to mean that he believed that there should be a high wall of separation between church and state, or between the church and the government. Many people today interpret this to mean that Jefferson believed that government should be entirely secular and devoid of any religious influence. This idea is contested by some based on analysis of Jefferson's other writings, most notably Bill number 84, which specifically calls for regulations regarding the Sabbath that include penalties for disturbing it and for failing to observe it. What this bill does is it shows us that Jefferson was probably not in support of a secular government, but rather for a government that was impartial with regard to individual choices. We can infer this because his use of the word Sabbath definitely couches this bill in a decidedly Christian context. In response to the Bill 84 argument, many cite the Danbury letter, where Jefferson spells out a particularly strenuous case for the separation of church and state, and maybe even a case for the wall of separation argument as described by the 1947 Supreme Court. While there is room for debate about what Jefferson really meant in these articles and in his letters, there are many more things about his opinions regarding the role of government and religion that are clear. First, Jefferson believed that religion was a personal matter. It was a matter between God and man. It was a matter between man and his God. Second, Jefferson believed that government did not have a right to interfere with a citizen's right to worship in whatever church or tradition he chose. In other words, government should not force anyone to become a Baptist or a Presbyterian or a Catholic or any other type of denomination or any other type of religion. Third, Jefferson believed that government should not establish an official state-sponsored church or religion, that the government should remain neutral, not that it should remain devoid of belief in God, or that the members who execute the policies of government should be godless or should be secular, but just that the government should be impartial, meaning that the government should not favor one religion over another with regard to official actions, official legislation, and finance. So, what we have here with Jefferson is a definite desire to break from the English tradition of having a state-sponsored church to a more Republican society where everyone was free to choose how they would worship God and where they would worship God. That's all I have for this morning. I appreciate you listening. I hope you have a great day.